is something that nobody really thinks that NATO is going to be necessary. It makes me think of this debate I've been having in my own mind for a while now. And people have been actually mentioning it in the comments today, saying that we should pull out of NATO, and because it's anachronistic, all these other kind of things. And maybe it is all those things. There's a part of me that says it would be stupid to pull out of NATO simply because the circumstances that allowed us to put that alliance together were like something that come along once every 1,000 years. And to have an alliance, a military alliance that's ties that many countries together and is that overwhelmingly powerful if it decided to like move in concert, that's something that you don't just throw away casually. And so my position, and I haven't really spoken much about this publicly because I just am sort of batting it around in my head, has been that we should stay in, but like radically scale it down. Basically, have it be a think tank and like a series of conferences and other things, so that it's there if we need to stand it up again, we can. But we still have all those connections, all of those interagency relationships, all those things, so that if we needed to scale it up again, we could in short order. On the other hand, like she's getting right at the heart of my own criticism of that position, which is when you're involved with an organization like that, it has a way of like pulling you in a direction that it wants, because it has its own built-in incentives, and whatever your intentions are, it just wants to do what it's built to do, and it's going to drag you along kicking and screaming if it can. And this is just a perfect example of that. I mean, it's something that nobody really thinks that NATO is going to be necessary. It is like totally anachronistic, has no real place in terms of its declared mission. And yet, because it exists and because of what its sort of internal incentives are, Ukraine is destroyed now. And she just laid it out pretty perfectly that that's why it's destroyed. Ukraine is destroyed because of that issue, period. And again, it's something you've been saying. It's something that Mearsheimer and a lot of people have said. And the Russians have said, the Russians have said this over and over and over, going back to 2014, going back before that, just sign something that says you're not going to turn this country whose border is 400 miles from Moscow on a frontier with no natural barriers that we've been invaded in from like to apocalyptic effect twice in the last 100 years. Just tell us that you're not going to do that. Just sign something, show us something. And our refusal to do that, it's like it's really puzzling if you just look at it from a standpoint of just a regular person's reason and logic,
Yeah.
right?